Hey guys, it is Dani and welcome to another video, and I'm here with updates on the Atlantic. So guys, as you're seeing, we have a lot going on. We're in the peak of the season and that is definitely being reflected. So we have Tropical Storm Sally that is expected to be a hurricane at the time of landfall along the Gulf Coast. We also have Tropical Storm Paulette, and we have Tropical Depression Dani'i, as well as newly formed Tropical Depression 20, and those two areas of disturbed weather to briefly talk about as well. And Sally is really going to be the main treat of this video because it is a significant system. And so guys, before I go into details with these tropical systems, please ensure to subscribe if you haven't and tap the notification bell so you know every time when I post a new video, because I will keep you guys updated on tropical cyclone activity right through the season. And you can also follow me on Instagram. My weather account is Weather Girl Dani, and my personal is Dani Henry Official. Okay, so we want to go back to that 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook, and so first we want to look at that disturbance just off the coast of Africa, south of the Cabo Verde Islands, and that is given a medium 60% chance of development through the next 5 days. Unfortunately, that looks as though it is going to be a fish storm, not posing a threat to land. So we're not expecting this to be something quite significant. Then that other disturbance just south of the eastern portion of Louisiana right there, that is given a low 30% chance of development, and it is possible for this to develop even into a depression before moving into Mexico right there. And so what you're seeing right now is Tropical Depression Dani'i, a defeated tropical system. We're not seeing much going on here, just some disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity, and also I'd say limited. All right, so let's quickly go on to the cone forecast for it. So we're not expecting it to strengthen, and it currently has winds of 35 miles per hour and is moving to the northwest at 14 miles per hour. So we're expecting that Dani'i is going to become post-tropical maybe by Tuesday, and then maybe dissipate by the middle part of or the latter part of the coming week, guys. So not a significant system to talk about. And then we have Tropical Storm Paulette. There we have it. Paulette is expected to be a hurricane very soon. It's actually on the verge of becoming a Category 1 hurricane, and it is definitely going to be a threat to Bermuda. But aside from Bermuda, fortunately, it's not going to be a threat to land, at least during the next 5 days. Now let's go on to the National Hurricane Center's cone forecast for Paulette. So there we have it. It has sustained winds of 70 miles per hour, just 4 miles per hour short of being a Category 1 hurricane. And so we have a hurricane warning in place for Bermuda, so conditions could start there maybe by sometime maybe late Sunday or going into Monday, and then we're expecting the storm to gradually weaken as it drifts out into the Atlantic. And also the maximum winds that are, or the maximum intensity that is expected from the National Hurricane Center, I believe, is being a Category 2. So Paulette is not expected to become a major hurricane, but again, it could still generate some rip currents. So if you live along the East Coast and you're planning to go to the beach, please be careful. And so for the malls, what are the malls expecting? There we have most of them expecting that it will definitely be a hurricane, and you have quite a lot taking it up to being a Category 2. And some, I believe, saying that it will be a Category 3 or near Category 3, which is certainly not impossible. So we just have to watch this one, but as of now, aside from Bermuda, nowhere else expected to be affected. And now let us go on to our newly designated Tropical Depression 20. So our 20th depression of the season, expected to become Tropical Storm, or should I say Hurricane Teddy. So this is in fact expected to be a hurricane. And will it be a threat to the Caribbean? We'll find out shortly. But for the potential intensity right now, there we have it. A lot of malls available. We have a decent amount, I'd say most expecting this to become a hurricane, and majority keeping it at Category 1 and 2, and we have 2 of them expecting this to become a major hurricane, which is certainly not impossible. I mean, we're in the peak of the season, and just with the right conditions, we can see some very interesting intensification taking place here. And so with the cone forecast, there we have it. So fortunately, or tropical depression here is not expected to be a threat to land. It will most likely be a fish storm, especially, this is such good news because this is going to be a hurricane. I have no doubts with this one becoming a hurricane and even potentially a major hurricane. But as of now, the maximum intensity expected from the National Hurricane Center is winds of 90 miles per hour, which is Category 1 status. So fortunately with this one, it is not a threat to land during the next 5 days. And then now let's go on to Tropical Storm Sally, the main treat of this video. So at this time, Sally is just moving into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. So this is taking somewhat of a similar track like Laura did, but it is not very similar, but it is moving into the Gulf, and it is expected to be a very significant tropical system. So we have rainfall spreading over portions of South Florida and also Cuba and possibly the Bahamas as well, but those conditions will deteriorate later today. And so there we have it. So the tropical storm warning, I believe a warning was in effect for parts of Florida, that has been discontinued, and then now we have a hurricane watch in place for southeastern Louisiana and the Gulf coasts of Mississippi and Alabama, and the tropical storm watch in place for the Florida Panhandle. So as we're seeing, the storm is expected to make landfall by Tuesday as a hurricane. Fortunately, it is not expected to be very strong, but Laura was not expected to be a very strong tropical system, and it made landfall as a Cat 4. I'm not saying that this is going to happen with Sally, but we definitely have to watch the storm for such occurrence, because with just the right conditions, we will see some rapid intensification taking place, but hopefully that is not the case, and it seems as though that is not going to be the case. So that's the good news with this here. And so with the intensity expected, we have our models agreeing, some of them keeping it a tropical storm. We have a decent amount saying that it will become a hurricane, which I think is most likely going to happen, guys. So if you're in Louisiana, please start preparing for this system. If you haven't, if you live in a flood prone area, or if you live near the coast, you want to move inland or get to higher ground, guys, because we should not take these systems lightly. And so guys, we have a lot going on. We're at our 20th depression with just a couple named storms more. This list will be exhausted for the names for the tropical systems. And so guys, I will keep giving updates as time goes by. And so if you found this video to be pretty informative, please give a thumbs up, and you can also share thoughts in the comments, and remember to always brew otherwise, and I'll keep giving updates.